That's the room.
So that is where the 60,000 went.
Yes.
You have seen for yourself here. In the last 3 years, forget about any other monies. On infrastructure and maintenance alone, this school has received 240,000. My brother here, the head teacher, is telling me about a manhole and a teacher's toilet.
It is these concerns by Education Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i days after he was appointed to the Education Ministry that turned the spotlight to the public primary schools amid fears that free education funds were being misappropriated. The fears of embezzlement of funds were further heightened when it appeared that pupils were forced to share textbooks at a ratio of 1:6 despite the government setting aside funds for procurement of textbooks, with some schools said to have failed to purchase the books altogether, forcing students to rely on outdated books. It is this reality that saw the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission invited to probe allegations of misappropriation of funds in public schools. And months later, they have released a damning report that exposed the vote in public schools.
We noted that the funds meant for these purposes were used for other expenditures such as paying sitting allowances, as already expressed in the islands and overseas trips.
EACC Halake Wako revealed how some schools' heads owned bookshop and were supplying the institutions with textbooks at inflated prices.
When this program was set off, many primary school head teachers converted into being booksellers. They opened bookshops in most of the rural areas, especially in the counties. Most of the books are sold by the teachers themselves. So probably this explains why we have irrelevant books in higher volumes at times.
The chairman of the Public Primary Heads Association, Shem Dolo, was not spared either as the Education Cabinet Secretary challenged him to crack the whip on wayward school heads.
The resources, Mr. Dolo, we have been given effectively. When you have head teachers borrowing 100,000 from the money we have given, if you can have 100,000 shillings to lend yourself, why should we give you more money?
As for me, as for the head structure, I take charge of. There is not impunity in the work that is being done. But if anybody takes it negatively, that means it's a person who is not for the charge.
The anti-graft body is recommending the immediate prosecution of teachers with a case to answer, saying disciplinary measures provided in law by the Teacher Service Commission only create loophole for further impunity, an argument that Matiang'i differed with.
Best lesson for somebody of this kind, like this one here, is to prosecute. Continue the way the thieves are treated. Because this is actually this is robbery. Very, very close. The system adopted by the TSC.
Matiang'i argued the audit department has been strengthened to ensure prudent use of funds. The report also showed how money was embezzled through forged signatures, delivery of phantom books, overpricing and single sourcing of suppliers. The education funds were first rolled out in 2003, with each child receiving 1,020 per year. In 2014, the government increased free primary education funds to 1,420 to cater for an estimated enrollment of about 10 million children in about 23,000 public primary schools. Annually, this cost 14 billion. The investigations were done in 11 counties in a total of 42 primary schools. Lynace Mwashighadi for Channel 1 News.